The Alpha 3.23 patch has been having a lot of issues since it was released almost a month ago to EPTU, with the UI earlier on having flickering issues and the mobiglass being fuzzy with DLSS on, and many other issues with FPS stuttering. If many of these issues are fixed, we could possibly see this patch be released and live in a few more weeks. But with the most recent patches releasing to Wave 1 and now to Wave 2, the overall stability of the game is improving, and quite a bit of the bugs have been fixed. And because of that, Alpha 3.23 is beginning to be more playable. In today's video, we'll discuss the state of the next patch that's currently in EPTU, what the positives and the negatives are of the patch, and what issues currently remain at the time of this video. So if you're excited for 3.23, or are just patiently waiting for 1.0, smash that like button and be sure to share your thoughts in the comments. Your engagement with the channel helps us gauge your interest in all things Star Citizen. And don't forget to subscribe for more clear, concise, and up-to-date content on Star Citizen and sim gear reviews. With so many amazing features like the mobiglass, star map, visor and lens updates, distribution centers, the implementation of Vulkan and updated clouds and lighting, EVA 2.0, minimap, and tons more, Alpha 3.23 is poised to be the best quality of life updates of all time. And while all these features are amazing, what are the best parts of 3.23 within the current state of the EPTU? As the patch is only out to Wave 2 backers at the time of recording this video, which are EPTU testers, subscribers, and certain concierge backers, many other backers still don't have access to the upcoming patch, leaving many to wonder what is working well and what is not working in typical Star Citizen fashion. EVA 2.0 is one of the biggest features that many have been waiting for. And let me just tell you, this feature is arguably one of the smoothest performing and vastly changes how the game feels when playing in first person while in 0G. With the new EVA, you are now able to jump out of your ship and fly around in space, fit through not only smaller doors, but also airlocks without crashing into them, and seamlessly land on your feet with zero issues. This is one of the most fundamental changes that I'm super excited for, as it will give players a reason to actually get out of your ship. And no longer will you have issues with running into objects and spinning around in circles, and it will finally feel intuitive and fluid throughout the entirety of your experience. Now, Master Modes is working great, and it adds a few other features to resolve some of its issues by giving players the options to turn on gravity compensation to help low flying, and turning off the speed limit restriction when landing gear is lowered. Most of these ships feel and fly really well, but there are a few outliers that need to have their flight tuning adjusted to get them more in line with how they should feel. I'm looking at you, C1 Spirit. In many ways, Master Modes is a callback to the earlier days when we had a much older flight model in Alpha 2.5. And I've been heavily enjoying playing the newest update and flying around in the verse. I think that over time, it will continue to get better with each update that they make to the feature, and more refinement will happen. And when flight control surfaces are added in, atmospheric flight will get better as well. Master Modes has a long way to go, but it is a great foundation for the future of the game, and one that will get better with time. With that said, there are plenty of things that we need to provide feedback to CIG on Master Modes in order to perfect it even further. And hopefully, they are listening to the majority of the community, so that we can have a great feeling flight model. So in earlier builds, there were tons of issues with stability and FPS stuttering, and my experience for the first week and a half was pretty negative. I wasn't able to get into the game and play for very long periods of time, and there ended up being a lot of frame stutter on my i7 13700KF and 4070 Super. But after the last couple of patches, a lot of those issues were resolved, and the EPTU has been running almost as stable as what I get on live servers. The lens and visor update, minimap, star map, and mobiglass updates look and feel great. They all provide more information and operate much better than live versions. I'm hoping that they really nail down the issues that exist with each of these, which we'll go over all of the issues that still exist shortly. Now, the all-new player interaction system and loot UI look and feel incredible, and the removal of the inner thought system and replacement of the interaction wheel are an extremely welcome change. I've honestly been having to relearn interacting with items in the game because of how much more simple it is to just press a panel to summon the elevator, open a door, or pick up an item. And looting with the new UI is also more fluid and allows you to grab items off an NPC without having to deal with the clunky inventory window. The other really big updates is the ship flight AI, and they are way more challenging than ever before, and it's actually feeling really great. If the server is performing well, the AI can be an extremely difficult enemy to defeat. And of course they should be. This has been a great change overall that has been needed for a long time. And as we all have seen the character creator, it is working really well and adds a ton of customizability to our characters and allows us to share our characters with others. And I've been seeing a ton of unique and amazing creations from the community, as well as a few that nightmares are made of. Finally, the cloud and lighting improvements are amazing and make the game even more cinematic than ever before. I can see a lot of players and content creators getting some amazing footage from these features alone, and I've been enjoying flying under the clouds and seeing the shadows cast onto the surface and on my ship. And the water simulation is looking really cool. I keep talking about buoyancy and adding boats and letting certain ships float on water every time I bring up this feature, however, I guess I just think it would be really cool to see. Anybody hosting a yacht party later? Now, as I said before, all of 3.23's features are super important, but these are just some of the few that are working well. With more bug fixing and polishing, these features will be a great update to the game. Now, the biggest complaint that seems to exist are that there are a lot of interaction delays, forcing players to click or even spam the interact key several times before your character actually does anything. And this is a pretty frustrating part of the EPTU for me because I feel as if this shouldn't really be a problem at this point. But as CIG are aware of this issue, they are working on implementing a fix for this, but they stated that this one was one of the harder bugs to nail down. Now, after several patches at this point, the mobiglass is still fuzzy and seems as if to be lower resolution than it should be. And really, it's kind of bizarre why this is still a problem. It's more noticeable with DLSS turned on, but it doesn't even seem to me as if DLSS works or provides any performance gain. But after updating my graphics drivers and the most recent updates to the patches, I have been noticing a slight improvement, but not as much as I thought there would be with DLSS on. One of the other outstanding issues right now is with the star map. While it looks and functions amazingly, there have been many instances in which spline routing does not always work, and players are forced to manually travel by pointing at a beacon and having to figure out their own routes. This causes some irritation for a lot of players, who prefer to plan out their route to quickly get from one point to another. Now, I was able to hop into the EPTU and do a few distribution center missions, and it appears as if most of them are not working properly as well. I wasn't able to find the NPC that I was looking for, and it appears as if the NPCs are not working properly, as you can see in this spawn locker right here. The AI responsible for the Copion and the Marok are also a bit lacking for the most part, or at least have been since I last checked. There are a few videos that I saw where a pack of Copions seemed like that they were more responsive, but this might be due to the server issues in the EPTU. It's worth noting that the hit detection against a player is lacking as well, because it doesn't look as if a pack of Copion does any real damage to your character, even if they get the drop on you. Now, here's where I'm probably going to get pretty spicy about some of the decisions that CIG makes. And I understand if you don't agree with me, but please forgive me if I seemingly fly off the handle. While the separation of SCM and nav mode isn't necessarily a decision I'm against, I am so damn confused as to why in the world we have 6 sub modes to switch between when flying around. We've got nav flight, nav scan, nav QT, SCM flight, SCM guns, SCM scan modes, and with the next update in 4.0 bringing quantum boost, does this mean we're also getting a mode for that too? And why in the world do I have to go into missile mode to fire missiles? It has been in the game for far too long and I'm tired of it. It needs to go. I'm sick of it. I think that it should just be a simple weapon switch rather than going into a separate mode to fire missiles. So why can't I just switch from guns to missiles without going into that separate mode? I would really like to see some solutions to all of these so players aren't forced to switch between different modes in order to be effective. It feels so disjointed to have to do this in the game. At this point, I'm beginning to see why people are upset at being forced to switch between nav mode and SCM, even if I disagree with many of them. I know for a fact that in DCS, one of my favorite flight sims, I don't have to go into near as many modes to do what I need to do. I have an air-to-ground mode, I have an air-to-air mode, and I have a navigation mode, and that is it. So CIG, hear me out. Can we please find a solution so that we don't have 9, 10, 20 different modes? And lastly, I haven't seen much of how hostile reputation affects the gameplay yet. It's possible that I haven't done much in EPTU to see how it matters or how it's changed anything. It's possible I won't see this until much later. So I guess for now, I'll just withhold my comments on it since I haven't seen it in action. Alpha 3.23 is shaping up to be a really great patch overall, with a lot of visual updates and a few gameplay updates. While freight elevators, persistent and instance hangars, item banks, and new cargo hauling missions were moved to a later patch, I am glad that they decided to pull them from 3.23 so that they didn't deliver a broken patch, with a few features that may have caused a ton of stability issues and possibly have been completely broken. There are many things to look forward to in the upcoming patch, and with the Retaliator Gold Pass, modularity, and the cargo updates potentially coming to 3.23.x sometime around June, this is when 3.23 will feel more complete and pave the way for 4.0 towards the end of the summer. The biggest question after 3.23 comes out is what features 4.0 will have in it besides Pyro, and what all it will have for us to play with and explore. New locations, new ships, new gameplay, new mechanics, and so much more could be closer than some of us might believe. And I'm looking forward to what may come very soon. And what will the new updated progress tracker reveal to us on CIG's plans for 1.0? I believe that once this information is released, the community will be a mixture of tons of hype and quite a bit of negativity. Will they hit their goals? You let me know if you think it's going to be possible in the comments below. As I'm one to believe, only time and patience will tell. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and let me know in the comments what you think of 3.23 so far and what you're looking forward to most during Invictus this year. Don't forget to join the community by subscribing to this channel, where you'll be provided clear and concise news and updates on Star Citizen and reviews of some of the best gear and peripherals in the sim and gaming market. If you want to join the channel and support the creation of these videos, then consider becoming a member and get special perks such as loyalty badges, priority replies, and more. And if you want more information on what ships I believe could possibly be coming during Invictus, then you'll want to check out this video. Fly safe, pilots, and I will see you in the next video. Havoc out.